Morning, I'm Zandon Keating. I'm with the City of Phoenix Community and Economic Development Department. With me today.
Hello, everyone. Good morning. I'm Stephanie Germain, the Community Engagement Director over at Downtown Phoenix, Inc. Thank you for being here.
So we are, as you know, we're here to talk about Super Bowl. The City of Phoenix is hosting these today in conjunction with DPI, and then also the Arizona Super Bowl Host Committee, who's going to be giving the bulk of the presentation. But we just wanted to intro you. We have a few things that we really want to emphasize and just kind of set the stage for what we're going to be talking about today. Before we get started, we want to kind of paint that picture of what it's going to look like downtown. I don't know if you were here before 2008 or 2015. It is going to look a little bit different. They all feel differently. The setup's going to be different. So one of the big things I know that's at the forefront of everybody's mind is road closures. We're going to get into that later. We have a whole piece of the presentation that gets into the specifics about what those road closures are going to look like. But you should know kind of the purpose of those road closures. So in 2015, if you remember, there were a lot of road closures, and it was to create that area where a lot of the festivities happened, where the event was taking place. That's not happening this year. The events are taking place within Hance Park or the Convention Center or some other areas, but there still are road closures, and most of those are more from a security standpoint. So the people who are down here for the events who are going to be walking around, they're going to be walking around all throughout downtown. They're not going to be restricted within those spaces. So just think about that as you're thinking about, what kind of business you expect to be doing through the Super Bowl. People are going to be out. There are going to be, lots of them. We wanted to say there are going to be millions of people downtown. That's what people have been pushing. I don't know that we can say that. We can say there are going to be hundreds of thousands of people, but there were over 1 million visitors to downtown in 2015. So there could be. It's going to be crazy down here, and they're all going to be walking around looking for those experiences, those other entertainment options beyond what's happening that are Super Bowl specific. So great opportunity for your businesses. How are we helping with that? So there's some things. We have a bunch of volunteers that are going to be assisting downtown, because a lot of these people, they're not going to be familiar with downtown. These aren't your normal customers that you're used to that know where everything is. And so there are a lot of resources to help coordinate and provide information and get those people to the right places. But something for you to keep in mind, if people are asking questions, where do they go for more information? Where are their resources? So the volunteer groups that are going to be down here, we're going to have, there's Valley Metro's customer experience coordinators are going to be down here. DPI, of course, is going to have their ambassadors. All their ambassadors are going to be out providing information. Ace Parking will have their volunteers out helping to get people from the parking facilities into the various events. The Public Works Department will have solid waste volunteers who are helping to assist. They'll be armed with information. They're really focused on trash collection, but they'll also be armed with a lot of the other information about the events and that sort of thing. And then the host committee has an entire army of volunteers that also will have all that information and will be able to assist with those visitors. There will also be a couple of visitor centers. There's what we call the Volunteer Center. They're going to be both stationed at the Arizona Center, but the host committee has what's called their Volunteer Center there, and then Visit Phoenix will also have a visitor center set up there, which are great places if you have people coming in from out of town who are looking for a resource somewhere to get some information. Those are going to be really good spots. I'm going to pass it to Stephanie at this point to talk a little bit about more, what you should be thinking about.
Yes. So the biggest thing we want you to take away from today is that this is an opportunity for you to, really engage with these pedestrians and all these different visitors that will be in and around downtown. Show them what downtown Phoenix has to offer. So definitely plan to staff up, prepare, and have record days. Erica Rubio from my team will give a presentation about some tips and tricks and best practices to help you have the best record days that you've ever had. So that'll be later in the presentation. And the last note is some businesses will be really taking advantage of this opportunity by hosting parties, having buyouts, having public-facing parties within their venues. And if you're one of those venues, please make sure to let us know. We're trying to consolidate the information in one space so that we understand which restaurants around the closed down buyouts are going to probably expect an influx of visitors, which places are offering forward-facing public events that we can send people to. All this information is really great for our ambassadors so that they're able to direct people to the right locations. So without further ado, I'll pass it on to Leslie from the host committee.
Hi, everybody. I'm Leslie Miller. I'm the Director of Communications with the Arizona Super Bowl Host Committee. Like Zandon and Stephanie said, we are here to make this the best Super Bowl ever, and not only for the visitors, but for our locals and our businesses. So my takeaway from what they said is we are going to have people everywhere to help direct, push people to where we want them to be, visiting the restaurants, visiting the different businesses around downtown, so that it is such a great more than a week, 10 days of activity for everybody. And to really help set the vibe, we're going to play a short video for you.
In 2023, Arizona will host Super Bowl for the 4th time since 1996.
Welcome to Arizona, where the grandest stage in American sport is set.
This is the 4th time the Super Bowl has been in the great state of Arizona.
Here it is, 4th and 10. O'Donnell needs to get 10 or this game is over. Well, the Cowboys have 4 sacks.
The one and only Miss Diana Ross.
Dallas, the champions again.
University of Phoenix in Glendale, Arizona. That's in the pocket, and he's sacked by Michael Strahan back at the 32-yard line. 4th sack of the game of Brady. 4 for 4 on 3rd down.
Tom Petty! Tom Petty, let's hear it!
They get a final stand on the great Tom Brady. New York Giants are the Super Bowl 42 champions.
It will go down as one of the biggest upsets in Super Bowl history as the Giants win it.
Just a spectacular Sunday afternoon. Patriots 4 first downs in the game. Seattle, none.
Super Bowl, are you ready to roll?
Unbelievable! Could this game be any better?
You're still going to have 4 opportunities to stop the clock. So the Patriots on the cusp of making it 4 in the 21st century, and after the wackiest lead-up to a Super Bowl ever, the New England Patriots are the NFL champions.
This is our state's 4th time hosting one of the biggest events, if not the biggest events in sports.
We look forward to hosting Super Bowl 57. We couldn't be more excited about this.
Our mission is to make sure that we have the world's attention to tell the best story possible about Arizona.
Super Bowl 57 is coming to the desert.
Okay, so I know Zandon and Stephanie already sort of gave you the lay of the land for today, but what we're going to cover is really what the community and economic impact is going to be, the decor elements that you're starting to see, how sustainability is at the forefront of everything we're doing for Super Bowl 57, the events that are coming to downtown, the road restrictions that everyone needs to be aware of, the safety and communications that goes along with that to keep this a safe event for everybody, and then what our fans need to know before they go and how that helps the businesses prepare. As we've said, we say this all the time, but Super Bowl is really a giant commercial for Arizona. So I hope you all see that as an opportunity to just display everything that is amazing about Arizona, because these fans are going to keep coming back for vacation. Businesses are going to want to relocate out here. We saw it in 2015, and we know that'll be the case for 2023 as well. Hopefully, if you have come westbound on Washington, you've started to see some of the decor going up, and you're getting a little sneak peek of what is still to come. But the decor for Super Bowl 57 is just so Arizona's beauty captured into the logo, the colors. We're really excited to see it in these giant supersized forms. This pink wall, we especially love from our offices because you have a direct view. This is a local Native American artist who is actually designing the official ticket for Super Bowl 57, and she's doing a custom mural that will be on that wall, which is just in between 1st and 2nd on Washington. And then here are a few of the other elements that you'll see. This is at Phoenix Convention Center. The pole banner's going up. So there is a lot of excitement happening over the next 33 days. And now I'll turn it over to Jenny Patel, the Vice President of Social Responsibility for the House Committee.
Hi, everybody. How are we doing? Good, good, good. Well, 33 days to Super Bowl 57. Some like to say 33 days to the Rihanna concert in Glendale. Whichever way you like, you can say it. Social responsibility and volunteers, within that falls sustainability. So there comes an environmental impact with hosting Super Bowl. So we, as the host committee in partnership with NFL Green and the City of Phoenix, really are trying to mitigate that environmental impact of hosting Super Bowl. So this is kind of our wheel. These are all the spokes to our wheel of sustainability, if you will. Greening projects. Over the last 6 months, we've worked throughout the whole valley, throughout the whole state of Arizona, to be honest, on community greening projects. Planting trees to raise tree equity scores in communities. Planting gardens for community gardens. Doing trash pickups. Really trying to leave Arizona in a better place once Super Bowl leaves. The other cool thing that the host committee is doing with the tree plantings is tracking the carbon sequestration of those trees planted. So we can track through the next probably 8 to 10 years how much carbon is sequestrated through planting those trees. Water conservation. So working with the City of Phoenix right now in terms of educating our fans that are coming into Arizona, specifically in downtown Phoenix. When you're in a hotel, they come and wash your bed sheets every day. They come and wash your towels every day. I don't do that at home. I don't wash my bed sheets every day and towels every day. So can we conserve water and put it in means that fans understand of how much water they can save? In addition, having refillable water stations at Hance Park, trying to reduce the single-use plastics. Food and material recovery. This is a really cool project in partnership with NFL Green, trying to divert as much from the landfill as possible. So there's always leftover food when you have events. So instead of just throwing that food away, can we put that into hands of our community in need? So we've partnered with United Food Bank, St. Mary's Food Bank, and WasteNot. So they will be on call the entire week of Super Bowl and trying to get that leftover food to our communities in need. Similarly, our material recovery program, working with right now about 100 nonprofits, there is going to be miles and miles of fence wrap, scrim, lumber, anything and everything you can think of to put on these events. Seeing if these nonprofits can take that material and put it to use for their nonprofit. Can they use a podium for their fundraisers so they don't have to spend the money on the podium? They can spend the money to those in need. Waste diversion. We have an incredible partnership with the City of Phoenix, and they've got this really cool new machine that Laura Zelda will tell you about soon. It's called a depackager. It doesn't really sound cool, but it's really, really cool. And really trying to divert as much waste from the landfill as possible. We do have a goal set. Laura Zelda will talk about that in a minute. But across the whole valley, really seeing how much waste we can divert from the landfill. Renewable energy. APS has agreed to do 100% clean energy at the Convention Center and Symphony Hall for the entire time that the NFL is here. That is huge. That has not been done before. So we're really excited about that. In addition, renewable energy certificates will be purchased for the times used at the Convention Center, the NFL Hotel, Symphony Hall, and the stadium in Glendale. So again, really trying to lean into those renewable energy credits. And kind of that all brings us to the fan education piece. We are going to have hundreds and thousands of people through the downtown Phoenix alone. How do we educate them so they can take this knowledge to take it back home, whether it's reducing your water usage, reducing your own carbon footprint. So really trying to educate our fans so they feel more empowered when they go back. So as I've mentioned a couple times, incredible partnership with the City of Phoenix. So I'd like to bring Laura Zelder up from the City of Phoenix Public Works Department to talk a little bit more about really focused downtown and what we're doing downtown.
Hi everyone, I'm Lori Zelda-Steller. I'm with the City of Phoenix Public Works Department with the Solid Waste team, and we are poised and ready to really make Super Bowl 57 the greenest Super Bowl in history. So just a little history. The last Super Bowl was in 2015, and this was the actual first Super Bowl in history that set a goal for itself to have a waste diversion goal. Does anybody want to take a guess what that goal was in 2015? Just throw out a number. Well, in a percentage. 50%? 65, 90? Okay. We actually set a goal of 80%. That was the first Super Bowl ever to really set a goal. We fell short, but we hit 73%, so we're really close, and we're really proud of ourselves of what we did. So this year, we're really setting the bar high because we have to do better than what we did, and we have a lot of lessons learned from last time, and we want to do better than what Minnesota did, and they had a pretty good rating. So this year, we're setting ourselves up for 92%, okay? And with 92%, we can truly call ourselves a zero waste event. So how are we going to do that? We're going to focus through your traditional recycle and compost, but we're really focusing on our food waste. Compost through food waste that'll be captured at the back of the house at the Phoenix Convention Center. Also at Hance Park, there's going to be a lot of food sales there and concessionaires. So we're really going to focus on capturing that food waste. The recycles you'll see out and about through these wire racks. A lot of the bins downtown are metal, and those will be closed and locked for safety security reasons. We don't need those open, but instead we'll put the wire racks out. So we'll have a really good presence of wire racks out in the downtown area. Our staff and volunteers will be really monitoring these racks closely to make sure they're not overflowing or anybody's getting into them, and we'll be on those and taking those as they fill up. So with that, I'll leave you with volunteers. I think the theme is volunteers. We really need volunteers to make this go. So if you have any friends, family that want to be part of Super Bowl events, we really need zero waste ambassadors, and they'll be the boots on the ground monitoring all of these wire racks. So thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Courtney Vandenberg, and I am the director of the Super Bowl experience at Hance Park. Thank you guys for being here today. I get to do the really fun and exciting part, all the events that are coming to downtown Phoenix. And while the NFL has events and their partners have events all around the valley, we're really focusing on downtown Phoenix today and what is coming into your backyard. So starting off with the NFL experience at the Convention Center. This is going to be your NFL theme park. NFL has some great partners. They're bringing out their coolest activations that they possibly can for the kids to go through. It's very family friendly. They'll be doing autographs. The Lombardi Trophy will be there. The NFL merch shop will be there. So it's going to be a really fun experiential experience to join in on. The next one is opening night. So this is really the kickoff to NFL week and Super Bowl week. They will have the AFC and the NFC teams in person. They'll have the coaches, the players doing autographs, doing interviews. Again, it is a family-friendly event. It's a ticketed event. Please go and experience it. It's going to be really awesome, except for the Packers aren't going to be in the Super Bowl, so kind of sad. And then we have NFL Honors. Now, this is a private event. It'll be happening at Symphony Hall, but this is the red carpeted event for the NFL and their players. They'll be giving out awards for the best plays, the best performances, Rookie of the Year. So this will be televised, but it will be happening in downtown Phoenix. The next is the Bud Light Music Festival. I'm sure you guys have all seen this advertised. This is the concert series that will be happening at Footprint Center. They've got Paramore happening on Thursday, Dave Matthews Band on Friday, and Imagine Dragons with Kane Brown on Saturday. Then going up to Hants Park, we have Super Bowl Experience happening at Hants Park. This is a free, family-friendly event that'll be happening at Hants Park, which is right down the road. We have they don't call it the small bowl, they call it the Super Bowl. So we got some big screens that we're bringing in. It will have our NFL partners will be there. We have a lot of fun activations. We'll be having local and national music recording artists. We'll have concessionaires. We'll have some really cold beverages. It'll be a lot of fun. And then on Sunday, we get to throw the first ever NFL sanctioned watch party. So the NFL has never approved somebody to showcase the game on the level that we get to do on Sunday. So please come down. Again, it's a free event that we give back to the community. There's not a lot of free events that the NFL puts on or a lot of the partners put on. So really it's a free public event that you can come to and hang out and have some fun. So putting this in timeline order so you know what's going on during the week. On Saturday, February 4th and Sunday, February 5th, that's when the convention center will be open for the Super Bowl experience. We highly encourage you, if you are going to go that weekend. It's kind of a give back to the state of Arizona. They do discounted tickets that weekend before everyone comes in from out of town. So if you are going to go, I really highly encourage going that first weekend. Kicking off to that opening night on Monday night. The next events are going to happen on Thursday. This is where all the craziness starts to happen. We have the NFL experience at Hants Park. The NFL experience at the convention center opens back up, so they will be closed Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. We have NFL honors that will be happening at Symphony Hall, and then the Music Fest, all on Thursday. So Thursday, Friday, and Saturday are going to be very, very busy. And then Sunday, of course, we have the big game, as well as the NFL-sanctioned watch party at Hants Park. And just because I'm a very visual person, put this in a map version. You guys are all very familiar with everything going on in downtown Phoenix and where everything is, but we like to look at it visually. So we have the Convention Center, Symphony Hall, Footprint, all down here on the south side. We also pointed out where the official NFL merch shops are going to be. So if you are going to buy any kind of merch and Packer jerseys, make sure you buy them at the NFL official merch shops. We don't want to make sure you don't get duped and buy knockoffs. Get the good stuff. And we have, our neighborhoods in between of all the bars and the restaurants. And then we have Hants Park up top with the NFL experience at Hants Park. And I'm going to kick it off to our favorite part, the road closures.
My name is Matt Snyder. I'm the Director of Operations for the host committee. And I'd beg to differ, Courtney. I think that I have the fun and exciting part of doing the road closures. So before we get started, as Zandon mentioned, things have changed since 2015, and with hosting these larger events come road closures and restrictions, and they are centered around public safety to make sure that we host a safe and secure event for everyone. And so I want to touch on a few things here that as we go through these closures in the downtown footprint, they are all pedestrian friendly. So you'll see closures and restrictions. That is all. It's only to vehicle traffic. Pedestrians will be able to walk around through every closure. We also will be publishing a detailed map with all this information. So if you go to azsuperbowl.com, we'll have a know before you go, putting together how you can pre-purchase parking, light rail schedules, bus schedules, recommended routes. So we highly encourage everyone to check out our website. It is active right now, and we continue to update it daily. We'll go line by line here to give you a better idea. So starting on February 6th, 3rd Street will be a full closure to vehicles from Taylor to Van Buren. 2nd Street, full closure from Taylor to Van Buren. 3rd Street will be a partial closure from Fillmore to Taylor. So all vehicles that'll be entering the Sheraton will get screened right there on that, that north corner of Fillmore and 3rd Street. And they will be screened by bomb dogs. They'll be swept, and then they'll be able to enter the secured perimeter. We still allow southbound traffic on 3rd for ASU residents, and then you can travel westbound on Taylor. You just cannot travel east on Taylor towards 3rd Street. So we've been in contact with Digital Realty ASU, so we still allow access to all the parking garages and their businesses in that area. Okay, so we'll dive into the convention center area. So Monroe, all these closures will start on the 30th. So Monroe Street from 1st to 6th, which is just east of the Heritage Garage entrance. Just west of the Heritage Garage entrance. We leave that access open. Will be a full closure. 3rd Street, partial closure from Washington to Van Buren. So you'll see that'll be the main thoroughfare for all of our fans attending Super Bowl Experience and Media Center. 5th Street is a partial closure from Jefferson to Monroe. So all vehicles, you can't see Jefferson on this map, but all vehicles that'll be entering the convention center will need to get screened similar to the Sheraton, and they will travel eastbound on Jefferson and then north on 5th to get screened, and then they will get escorted across Washington into the convention center. 2nd Street, northbound lane, so Washington to Van Buren. So you could still travel south, but due to the secured perimeter and the 100-foot security best practices that the NFL requires, we do need to restrict and close all northbound traffic on 2nd Street. And then the 2nd Street East Sidewalk, Washington to Adams. This is, again, kind of just for NFL honors build-outs. As you know, this will be broadcasted live. Each year gets bigger and bigger. So that sidewalk from Washington to Adams will be closed from the 30th to the 14th. All right. So additional closures. So the first closure right here, the 1st Street, all parking meters, Washington Street to Monroe. So that'll go into effect on the 4th to the 12th. And then these other ones that I'm about to talk through are only honor specific. So it's only going to be Thursday, February 9th. So Monroe Street, the sidewalk, 2nd Street to 3rd Street. And this is for the red carpet build out for the honors show. They're building bleachers for fans to, sit and watch as all of the players and celebrities enter. 3rd Street, west sidewalk from Monroe to Van Buren. The 2nd Street, east sidewalk from Monroe to Van Buren. And then Adams Street, all parking meters on 1st and 2nd Street. Again, those closures are only Thursday, February 9th. All right, so we'll talk through Hans Park now. So Moreland Street. So all of these closures will start on the 23rd. So Moreland Street is going to be the full closure from 1st Street to 3rd Street. So it's actually just west of 3rd Street. It's that alley right there by the church. So that'll be a full closure, again, just for the secured perimeter. 1st Street from Moreland to Portland. So again, this will be for the 1st Street will be one of our main entrances to Hans Park. So we got to begin that build out. Moreland from 3rd to 5th Street. So similar to the convention center, all vehicles that will be entering Hans Park will need to get swept and screened by PD and then get escorted across 3rd Street into our footprint. And then the sidewalk, so from West 3rd Street and North 2nd Street. So you can see kind of around that parking lot there. Doesn't affect any of the businesses in the area, so everyone will still be able to come and go. And again, all of these street closures are pedestrian friendly. And then starting on the 4th, I guess there's different waves here, so we'll jump real quick. The 29th, 2nd Street will get closed from Moreland to Portland. And then skip ahead a few days on the 4th. So 1st Street northbound will be closed, southbound maintained. So you'll still be able to travel east on Portland towards 1st Street and then south. This allows access to that 1001 garage and that surface lot right there on the southwest corner. You just will not be able to travel north on 1st Street. It'll be a concrete barrier, pedestrian friendly. Again, kind of from Roosevelt to Monroe will be kind of the footprint and the activation. Similar to a First Friday type of vibe. And then 2nd Street, full closure from Portland to Roosevelt. We've been working with all the local businesses. They are well aware. And again, it's just for, Frito-Lay will be activating in that lot right there on the southwest corner of Portland and 2nd Street. So that takes time to build out. We want to make sure that the area is safe for everyone. Portland Street, full closure, 1st Street to 2nd Street, starting on the 5th to the 15th. So all residents that live in the apartments just south of Moreland starting on the 5th, will have to enter through the alley on Roosevelt. We've been working with PD and Streets and Traffic and the right-of-way team to ensure that everything is marked and that there is enough room to get to and from that parking garage. And then 5th Place northbound, closed. Southbound will be maintained. So kind of going from Moreland here, east of 5th Street. So all vehicles that'll be coming into our secured perimeter will come off of 7th Street, they'll flip a U-turn, and then travel north on 5th Place to Moreland. That will be the screening area. If you are traveling on 5th Street north from Portland, you can still take a right-hand turn and travel east and get all the way back around to North 5th Place in Portland. All right, going north of Hans Park. So starting on the 23rd, you have Willetta Street, or 2nd Street from Willetta to Culver. So again, we still leave access to those residents at the apartment complex there. Their waste management can still access the dumpsters right there. So it's just gonna be just south of that pedestrian bridge. Again, that's for lay down space for the build out and then the secured perimeter. We also take Willetta Street, the parking meters right here, just above the Burton Bar Library. So library will be fully operational, no impacts to them, same hours of operation. We just would take those parking meters, again, for oversized commercial vehicle parking. Culver Street, so that south curb lane here, there will be no street parking. Again, this is to try to eliminate congestion on Culver Street due to the egress of the park. Similar to Final Four, what we're going to see is 20 to 25,000 fans exit the park. So from a public safety standpoint, we're going to close down Central and get fans out of there with additional buses, working with public transit and light rail on that. And then Willetta Street, just again, kind of on the east of the what we call the pill lot, will be no street parking. Again, just to eliminate congestion and hope that, try not to clog up the roads. We'll jump down for opening night closures. So these are almost final, but this is what we're looking at here. First, Jackson Street will be a full closure from 3rd Street to 1st Street. Again, this is an NFL sanctioned event, and this will be in support of the opening night and the Bud Light Music Fest. Jefferson Street, the eastbound curb lane. So from 1st Street to 3rd Street, just on the 5th and the 6th. This is to abide by, to abide by that secured perimeter since it is an NFL sanctioned event. 1st Street will be a full closure from Jefferson to Jackson. Jackson Street, full closure, 3rd to 1st. 2nd Street will be a full closure it's for the security screening here. So any vehicles traveling from the south heading north towards Jackson, and then Madison Street from Central to 1st on the 5th and the 6th. All right, let's dive into parking here. So again, with hosting these larger events, all we can do is, we expect delays and with these restrictions in place. So the best thing to do is to plan ahead. We know that, Zandon mentioned that we had to start the meeting late this morning because traffic. So now at least we're trying to get ahead of it so everyone knows before they go. I anticipate an additional 20 to 40 minutes of travel time just to be safe. So peak days are going to be the 4th and the 5th, while the Super Bowl experience is open at the convention center. And then, as Courtney mentioned, the 9th through the 12th, downtown will be rocking. So expect significant delays there. We encourage everyone to plan ahead, check our website, expect delays, carpool, and we're really encouraging everyone to take public transit. We're working closely with Valley Metro and the City of Phoenix Public Transportation Group, beefing up the light rail trains, the headways, the amount of buses, the bus routes. So please, we encourage everyone to push that information out. And then I'll also kick it over. Sean with Ace Parking here is created this park and rail opportunity for guests or for people traveling to the downtown area. So if you want to learn more information about that, Sean will be around here. Sean, you want to say anything now or get bombarded after? Cool. All right. Another cool thing that Ace Parking has created is a thing called Space. It's like the Space app, so you can download it on your phone or access it on the website. This is more tailored to the fans, but you could purchase your parking ahead of time. It's already live right now, so you can book, and I highly encourage anyone to book now while prices are a little bit lower. But you go online, you can purchase your spot at your house, and then drive, and then head downtown, and it will be reserved for you. So you don't have to worry about paying at the meter, at the kiosks, or driving around to garages that are already full. So this is a awesome opportunity and operations that Ace Parking has put together. So please encourage you all to check it out. And public transit. So as mentioned, we will public transit will have enhanced service. So you'll see here on the bus schedules. So we're working closely with them as we continue to finalize all the road closures to make sure that the bus routes are detoured and try not to impact as many routes as possible. Then they're going to have City of Phoenix will have additional buses staged downtown, so we can monitor in real time as things are getting, ramping up and traffic's getting bad, or we see heavier pedestrian traffic in certain areas. They'll be able to deploy buses to help mitigate all those wait times. Light rail schedule. So they will, starting on the 8th, there will be increased service. So, and they will be running 3-car trains opposed to the 2-car trains. Service will also be extended till 2 a.m. And they will have, similar to the buses, there will be additional trains staged in certain areas to deploy as needed. And then this kind of just touches on the schedule of light rail. So from the 8th to the 11th, shows you what the headways. So they'll be able to adjust how quickly and the frequency of those light rail trains based on the pedestrian traffic. And then on game day, there will be extended hours as well. And then I was actually pretty amazed by the capacity of light rail, especially as they ramp up their headways. So we do highly encourage, I think light rail has continued to evolve. So, it's a great asset and something that we are encouraging everyone, not just locals, but fans to take. And then this shows all of our park and ride facilities. So again, close to, let's say, 4,000 parking spots in the outside of downtown footprint. So you can, encourage your staff, fans to park and then, hop on the light rail to come in. Again, it's a win for everyone. It gets vehicles off the road. From a public safety standpoint, pedestrians mixing with vehicles. And there's, like I said, thousands of spaces available. So we encourage everyone to check out the Valley Metro website, and you can have a detailed list of where all these locations are located. And I'm going to pass it over to Anthony with the City of Phoenix to talk about micromobility.
All right, good morning, everybody. My name is Anthony Rios-Garola. I'm with the City of Phoenix Street Transportation Department, and I am the micromobility planner. So any road closures, don't come to me about that. That's not me. But first, so micromobility, what that really means is, if anybody is familiar with the e-scooter pilot program that is going on with all the various scooters downtown, that is considered micromobility. But luckily and thankfully, we've been working really aggressively to actually bring about the next iteration of the program, which will be our permanent shared micromobility program, which is actually set to launch on January 20th. So this will be just before the Super Bowl comes into town. And so what that really means is, one is the boundary is actually going to expand outside of the downtown area, really to the east, west, and south of downtown. So it'll be easier for people just outside of the downtown area within that 1 to 3 miles to get into downtown easier. Also, we're actually expanding what's available. So there will also be traditional bikes and electric bikes will be coming into the program. So if you're not really comfortable with scooter, but more of a biking person, then that'll be available again come January 20th. But when it comes more down to the Super Bowl ops side of things, what we are looking to do is, right now there's already those considered no ride zones where anybody riding a scooter will not be able to operate. Those areas will continue forward, but also alongside of that, we will have the temporary no ride zones, and that's going to really align with all the road closures that they went over. So those timelines, they're roughly going to be in place. So if you're within those areas, people will not be allowed to ride any sort of scooter or bike in that area. And just for kind of awareness as far as how that's actually enforced, so it's called geofencing technology. So each vehicle has a GPS on it, and basically once it registers that the vehicle has entered a no-ride zone, it'll cut the throttle and the person has to go back in order for it to start again. So that's how it'll be enforced. And lastly, if there's any issues that either you or anybody in the public has with the the two vendors, so Lime and Spin, will be the two operating the program. If there's any issues, a reported abandoned vehicle or anything like that, there's various ways to report that, either directly to them, Lime or Spin. There's also a hotline and a inbox that will go to me if you have any questions during business hours. But all this information will be available on our website, www.Phoenix.gov/scooters. But thank you.
All right, good morning, everybody. My name is Brian Frudenthal. So I'm the commander of the Downtown Operations Unit, and I think I've had the opportunity to meet most of you in the meetings in the past. So I appreciate the opportunity to be here. I always wanted to try stand-up comedy, so you guys are going to get my set here. All I know is dad jokes, so I don't think you guys want to hear any of those. But before I get into this slide, I just want to talk about staffing, because I'm pretty sure that's probably one of the bigger concerns here as it relates, because you hear a lot about Phoenix Police and the issues we have related to staffing. So this is something all of us have been planning for over a year. So we've been preparing for this for over a year, and we've been putting out notifications. We've been properly making sure that we're properly staffed for this event, because we realize how big it is for everybody in this room and everybody in the downtown area. So one of the things we did right from the beginning is all the officers were notified, everybody on the police department was notified that they were not allowed to take a day off throughout this event, which is true. I know it sounds funny, but no vacation days, so that we can ensure that we had proper staffing. They had plenty of notification. They could have their vacations before, after, whenever they needed. But the key for us was to ensure that you guys had the appropriate staffing for downtown and all the events that we're going to be having down here. So with that, we went through and we identified all of the staffing for all these venues to make sure that everyone is properly staffed. As you saw, the road closures, we'll have officers at all those road closures. We'll have complete contingent of staffing at the Footprint Center, a complete contingent at the Convention Center, and all the other events that are going on around here. On top of that, we've identified a few squads around the city where we're going to bring in extra bodies downtown, because we know we're going to have an influx of people down here that our normal staffing would not be able to meet their levels of just proactive police work, being visible, being able to respond to the calls when you guys need us. So you're going to have an abundance of staffing of officers downtown. We want to make sure that this is a fun and safe event for everybody, and that includes with us being present, being visible, and ensuring that we keep everybody safe downtown. So I just want to make sure that I covered the staffing part of it before I move on. One of the things I was asked to talk about is just the basics, right? As it comes down to see something, say something. You hear this all the time, but I can't tell you how important this is. And we hear all the time about active shooters, mass shootings. We hear about them all the time. But what you don't hear about is all the ones that were stopped, the ones that were prevented because somebody saw something and called us. It happens so many more times than you know, and we've been very fortunate in downtown Phoenix. And we've been very fortunate in the valley as a whole as it relates to this issue. But it's not because of us, it's more because of you guys and the people that are making the reports when they see something off, and they make the report and we go and investigate it and put a stop to it. So it's super important that you guys, you can't over notify us. You're not doing us a disservice by not calling. Call us. If you see something awkward or out of the ordinary, give us a call. One of the other things that keeps coming up in the community meetings, I'm sure you guys have some of the same concerns, is people experiencing homelessness in the downtown area and how it'll impact the Super Bowl, how it'll impact your business, and how it'll impact them, the individual, right, that's experiencing homelessness. So I want to assure you that one of the things we're not going to do as a police department is just come in and sweep. I think there's a lot of rumors that go on around most of the Super Bowls. As you hear, a lot of the police, they just came in and swept all the homeless out of downtown, or they just came in out of the area. That's not what we're going to do. We work very closely with our homeless solutions office. It's a new department that the city just generated, the homeless solutions office. It was human services department under there, but now we have the homeless solutions office. We work very closely with Gina, with Rachel, with Scott Hall. I'm sure some of you guys have met some of those individuals and their passion for connecting these individuals to services. And I can tell you from experience, as somebody who's worked on and around the Human Services campus for pretty much my entire career, I've never seen the passion that I've seen over the last year related to how we are addressing homelessness in the downtown area and throughout the valley and throughout Phoenix. And the work that they're putting in is just been remarkable. So we will support them 100%. Now, we come to meetings all the time and we say, it's not a crime to be homeless. It's not, but there are times when homeless individuals commit crimes. And when we have victims associated with those crimes, we will follow through, we will arrest, and we will prosecute. So, but it's important that we have victims associated with those crimes, because we as police officers technically can't be the victims to the majority of those crimes, right? So we have to have victims, we have to have witnesses, and we have to have individuals that want to contact us and want to follow through with that. So if you have an individual that's impacting you and has that really negative impact on you and your business, and you want to be a victim of a legitimate crime, we will follow through with it. But we ask that you request contact, we ask that you be a witness, we ask that you follow through with it. But we will not be out randomly just sweeping individuals off the streets. So see something, say something. One of the other things that Super Bowls bring, so prior to coming here, I was lieutenant over our human trafficking unit, and being a police officer now for coming up on 27 years, I've seen how we've evolved as it relates to individuals experiencing homelessness and how it relates to individuals being trafficked. Back in the days, you know, we viewed prostitution as a crime, and the individual, it is a crime, I don't want to get that wrong, but the trafficking, the victimization of those individuals that are out there, we recognize that, and I think it's super important that you understand that when you see those individuals out there, they're victims of trafficking, they're victims of trauma, they're victims of individuals who preyed upon them and preyed upon their vulnerability, and that's our goal, is one, to connect that individual to services that they need, but two, to identify the individual as trafficking them, the one that's preying on them, and we can't do that without the initial contact. So again, please call. Our goal is actually to rescue that individual and get them out of the situation they're in, and you're going to see it. Super Bowl brings it. The Phoenix Open brings it. So please report it. As it relates to violence and incidences that need us to a quick response, 911, obviously you're going to see some contacts on here, some phone numbers on here, but the number one number to remember is 911, which everybody knows, right? So call 911 if it's something that you need an immediate response to. If it's something that you don't want contact on, or you just want to make a tip, and you have more detailed information, you have phone numbers here that you can contact related to human trafficking. There will be contingent of detectives, there will be contingent of outside agencies, outside of law enforcement, that are going to come down to Phoenix and they're going to assist with this. So they're going to be we're going to have a whole lot of people that are going to come down focusing on this issue, trying to get these individuals the help they need and get them off the streets to a safer place. So we will have a contingent of people that will be doing that. So if you won't be burdening us with this. Our goal is, as I said, is to identify the trafficker, but to get that individual the help they need. There will be a lot of resources for them at the Super Bowl, which is a nice part about the Super Bowl coming to town. So outside of that, I'll be around if you guys have any questions. Let me know. Thanks.
Now for the details that our fans and everybody coming downtown needs to know. This is our Know Before You Go. It's a completely comprehensive and ever-evolving document website. It's all on azsuperbowl.com. So just to run you guys through what people can find there, it's parking and transportation. I won't reiterate what Matt already said, but just so you know, if you want those exact directions, exact public transit opportunities, it's all listed there. Tickets. As Courtney said, some events are ticketed, some require a one-pass app, which is downloadable through the Apple or Google store. Some are free. So find out what the event people want to attend, what the requirements are. All the details are there. What time is everything starting? What are your food options? Hants Park is going to have a variety of food trucks. Other events happening at Footprint Center will have the concessions within the arena. So what can you expect Can you bring in your own water? Some events yes, some events no. Is it cashless? Is it, you have to pay before you attend? Can you bring a clear bag? Can you bring any bag? All of those details on Know Before You Go. And of course, last but not least, strollers. What can you bring in for kids? As I said, this website is constantly being updated as new information is coming in. Encourage people to check there, come back and check often so that everybody is well aware of what they need to be prepared to do before they come downtown.
Hello and good morning, everybody. My name is Erica Rubio, Stakeholder Engagement Manager for Downtown Phoenix, Inc. I know we shared a lot of information with you today, and so to kind of wrap your arms around everything that we talked about, we put together a very short checklist so you can kind of get the wheels going and think about what you're doing to cross the finish line when it comes to the big day. First and foremost, I really strongly recommend having a transportation plan for you and your staff. That looks a little different for everybody. That could mean that you pre-purchase parking. That could mean that you are very kind and sponsor transit passes for your staff. Whatever that looks like for you, I would consider thinking about it now and making sure that your staff goes in confident and knows how they're getting to downtown. Contact your delivery drivers. So we went over a lot of street closures today. Now is the time to get in touch with your delivery drivers and let them know when and where they should be dropping off those deliveries, whether that access that they usually go to may be closed off, and if they need to find another route to go to. Stock up ahead of time. This one is very important. Nobody wants to eat a burger without napkins, and I think you're going to be shocked at how much toilet paper you go through during this week. It's a very, very busy week, so there's never too much of those dry goods that you can go ahead and pre-order now. And this one's very important. Make it easy for people to find you. There are so many instances where we may have different addresses, phone numbers, business hours on your website, Google page, Yelp, Instagram. Make sure all of those are updated and consistent so that when those out-of-towners and visitors come and try and locate a new place to try, they know exactly how to find you and when you're open. Let's see, stay in the know. This one is also critically important. I would say that every business is affected differently by those ingresses and egresses. When a bar will be impacted differently than a hotel will be impacted differently than a coffee shop. So know how those ingresses and egresses will impact your business so that you can prepare for the big rushes. And communicate. So we've heard a lot of instances of either buyouts happening or extended business hours. I would ask that if you happen to have any of those special cases happening at your business, you let the Downtown Phoenix ambassadors know. They are the boots on the ground who will be sending people to businesses or telling people to maybe not go on Tuesday because there is a buyout. The best way that we can share that information with visitors is if we know it. So you're able to go ahead and email ambassadors at dtphx.org, and they'll keep a collection of all of that information so they can share it with the visiting public. So there's no need to take a picture of the checklist here. We do have it as a handout at the front table, and that handout also has my contact information, Zandon's contact information, and I believe information for the host committee as well. And next up, we have Stephanie, also from Downtown Phoenix, Inc.
As Commander mentioned before, we have started a partnership with Community Bridges to help with our individuals experiencing homelessness, and that partnership started at the beginning of last year. Since then, our full-time navigator has been a second full-time navigator has been added in this past fall. So now we're able to expand our service area all the way up to Hants Park, which is really important for an event like this. Since our navigator began with us, we've had 900 individuals that have been helped, with 100 positively exiting from the program. And as you can see on the slide, what is a positive exit? When an individual receives the services or housing needed to end their homelessness experience. So we're really proud of these statistics and hope that it only continues.
So here's our contact information, info@azsuperbowl.com. That is the kind of the main contact email for the host committee. So thank you, everybody. We're excited for a great event.